Welcome to our September 13th, 2022 Board of County Commissioner meeting. I'd like to call our meeting to order. If you'd all please rise, we'll have our invocation with Pastor Blaine Albright from Christ Fellowship Church, and we will follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. It's going to be a lively one today. So let's start off the right way. Let's go to God.
They're here for you.
Yeah, well, good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to pray. Let's pray together. Father, thank you for the opportunity to come to you in prayer. Your scripture reminds us that we are not to be anxious about anything, but we are to pray about everything, about every situation, every circumstance. And so we come to you today with everything. And we love the promise in your word that says when we do that, when we come to you in prayer, that your peace will fill us, that your peace will be with us. And so that's why we pray today. You also tell us in your word, in the Bible, that if we need wisdom, that we can ask for it and you will give it generously. And so I know I need wisdom today. I need your wisdom to be a better husband and father and pastor and friend. And so I don't think there's anyone here who would turn away from more wisdom and guidance. And so we ask you for that as we speak and as we listen to each other today. Let our words be filled with grace, because we know that every person, even the people that we disagree with, they're your creation, people that you love, people that we're called to show honor to. And so we thank you for this beautiful county that we get the privilege of living in. Thank you for our leaders, these commissioners, and these citizens who I believe are doing holy work by stewarding this great blessing. And so I pray that you would lead us today so that we can see your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Appreciate it. Okay. This morning we will have our first preset, or our first thing up, will be a public comment. Oops, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. We'll be taking up our final budget hearing this afternoon at 5:05, or following this meeting. No, I guess at 5:05, right? We will come back at 5:05. We'll also have a public comment at the end of the meeting, whichever comes first. We have an additional item today: adopt a proclamation declaring Fire Prevention Week in Martin County, Florida. And we have no agenda polls, and we have a few proclamations this morning, but we will take them up following the approval of the agenda.
Commissioner, we have another additional item number 11 for that was passed out, acceptance of a federal aviation grant that goes along with Department 1.
Okay, can you... Hang on a second. And which one is that?
It would be item number 11, permission to accept the, of Department 1, permission to accept the Federal Aviation Administration AIP grant number for taxiway alpha rehabilitation and lighting. It was added because the FAA required us to put it on immediately, or they would take the funds away.
Okay, so also, Commissioners, if we could include item 11 with the rest of the agenda and the consent agenda, that would be great.
Mr. Chair, I will move approval of the agenda with the additional items, consent 17 and item 11.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All is opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Bear with me a little bit here, folks. Just got a lot going on up here. Okay. That's all right. It's fine. Okay. First up this morning, we are going to take our proclamations first this morning. Sorry. Our first proclamation this morning will be Hunger Action Month.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hunger and poverty remain issues of grave concern in the United States, the state of Florida, and the Treasure Coast, with 52,460 children and adults in Martin County now categorized as food insecure. Martin County is committed to taking steps to raise awareness about the need to combat hunger in every part of our county and to provide additional resources our citizens need. To that end, the Board recognizes September 2022 as Hunger Action Month and calls this observance to the attention of our citizens. And I don't know if she snuck in or not, Ruby Aguirre, Client Services Manager from Treasure Coast Food Bank, is supposed to accept. Ruby? All right. We will get that to her. Next proclamation is a proclamation declaring Constitution Week in Martin County, Florida. Constitution Week is recognized September 17th through the 23rd, and September 17th marks the 235th anniversary of the creation of the Constitution of the United States of America by Constitutional Convention. It is fitting to officially recognize this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and the Board encourages citizens to take part in the celebrations which will commemorate this occasion. And here to accept, we have Amy Pinder, the Halpatioke Daughters of the American Revolution Regent. Scooch on over this way, in front of this seal here.
The rest of the members.
Right, let's do a couple. I like to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 1 more.
Halpatioke Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, thanks the Martin County Commissioners for acknowledging Constitution Day and Constitution Week by providing this proclamation. As DAR members, it is our responsibility to celebrate and keep our ancestors' legacies alive, and we ask every American citizen to stand with us to protect and defend the U.S. Constitution, which stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout history. We invite everyone to participate in Bells Across America, where on Constitution Day, September 17 at 4 p.m., citizens will unite across America to ring bells, honk horns, blow sirens to celebrate the legacy of the Constitution. Again, we extend our appreciation to the Martin County Board of County Commissioners and ask you as well to celebrate the legacy. Thank you very much.
Our next proclamation is declaring Coastal Cleanup Day in Martin County, Florida. Our beaches and waterways are a beautiful part of the American landscape, but trash in the ocean and along our shorelines is one of the most serious and preventable pollution problems. The Keep Martin Beautiful International Coastal Cleanup Day has been held in Martin County for the past 26 years in partnership with the Ocean Conservancy. The Board recognizes September 17th, 2022 as Coastal Cleanup Day in Martin County and calls upon residents to join in the efforts to restore our area's coastal zones at the 27th Annual Coastal Cleanup. And here to accept, we have Rachel Delecta, Board Member with Keep Martin Beautiful, along with some other folks.
Okay, and before we do this one, the board will need to vote on this one. So I need a motion to approve this proclamation.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and we have a second declaring Coastal Cleanup Day in Martin County, Florida. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sign up and just vote on it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for approving that, and thank you for your support as always. We're excited to tell you that leading up to the event this Saturday, the 17th, the International Coastal Cleanup, Keep Martin Beautiful has over 1,000 local volunteers and over 24 sponsors. So we are excited to see how much litter we can clean up from over 30 area sites, beaches, coastal waterways, and we'll share those results with you after the weekend. And looking forward to speaking with you. Thank you so much for your support.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And our final proclamation for today is a proclamation declaring Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in Martin County, Florida. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, which is aimed at directing the community's attention to this public health epidemic that destroys lives, whole families, and sometimes entire communities. It is important to note that suicide is the only type of death that is 100% preventable. By offering the public education, data, support, and services, we as a community have taken steps towards addressing this preventable tragedy, and the board continues to support these efforts. And we actually have folks from 3 different organizations here to accept the proclamation. We have Tracy Hernandez from Suncoast Mental Health Center, Judy Overdorf from Martin County New Horizons, and Patrice Schroeder with 211 Palm Beach Treasure Coast. So please introduce yourself when you come up.
We don't have 3 today.
And they can mail us.
This.
It's gotta be. Open door for such a specific. Toby's mother.
Perfect.
All right, everybody smile.
Yeah, you never know. She could be 85 years old.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, commissioners and guests. My name is Tracy Hernandez, and I'm the new Director of Development for Suncoast Mental Health Center, a leading mental and behavioral health provider offering community-based and family-centered care to uninsured and underinsured children and families in Martin County and throughout the Treasure Coast. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here today to accept this proclamation for Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. As we try to put COVID-19 behind us, we are experiencing what could be considered a second pandemic of mental health that is impacting Americans regardless of age, gender, or race. The numbers are especially alarming among students and young people, which we recognize at Suncoast as 74% of our clients are youth. According to a 2022 study, 1 in 3 high school students experienced poor mental health during the pandemic. Almost 1 in 5 seriously considered suicide, and 1 in 10 attempted suicide. On average, there are 130 suicides a day in this country, which means someone takes their own life about every 11 minutes. And for every death by suicide in recent years, there were 25 to 30 attempts. In July, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline transitioned to a 3-digit code to facilitate how people in distress access emergency mental health services and support. The FCC selected the 988 number to elevate mental health crisis response to the same level as calling 911 for other emergencies. At Suncoast Mental Health Center, we are addressing this health crisis through our comprehensive service provision and holistic approach to treatment. We serve clients in their homes, at their schools, in the community, at our 4 Suncoast locations, and through telehealth counseling, case management, and psychiatry. Since March 2020, our professional staff has facilitated over 36,000 telehealth visits, and we currently serve close to 1,400 clients monthly, including 268 in this county alone, and hundreds of students at more than 40 schools in our 4-county service area. Here in Martin County, Suncoast is contracted with the school district to provide on-site, in-person mental health counseling and case management services at 13 schools, but our staff work with students upon referral at any and all of the local schools. It is common for many of our clients to share that they have considered or attempted suicide prior to seeking treatment, and we are hopeful that greater acceptance and awareness will encourage more people to get the help they may need, like 17-year-old David, who received services and support at Suncoast Mental Health Center to help him overcome 2 suicide attempts and the severe depression that was negatively affecting his life, especially his grades and future academic plans. After working with a therapist, a case manager, and a nurse practitioner for medication management, there was a significant improvement in David's mood and self-esteem. He graduated high school with a 3.4 GPA and a partial scholarship for college and has successfully completed his treatment plan goals. On behalf of the children, adults, and families we serve, sincere thanks to all of you for joining us in this community effort to end the stigma, promote recovery, raise public awareness, and increase funding as we empower, engage, and inspire positive mental health and wellness throughout our local area. Please mark your calendars for our Suicide Prevention Symposium on September 28th at Coral Shores Behavioral Health in Stewart. This is a free educational event held in recognition of this important awareness month. For more information about Suncoast, please visit our website at www.suncoastmentalhealth.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for honoring this proclamation. My name is Patrice Schroeder. I'm Community Relations Specialist for 211 Palm Beach Treasure Coast. And just to let you know that every day at 211 is suicide prevention. We average about 300 calls per day, and of those, over 10 a day are suicide and crisis of concern. So we really want to let the community know that we're entering our 6th decade of service, and we're very happy to be here. Our staff are highly trained, and as was mentioned with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which has rebranded to 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, we've been answering that line since its inception and will continue to be the frontline responders. So people in our region, they can either dial the 211 number or they can also dial the 988 number. Our highly trained staff will de-escalate crisis. We help to get them stabilized, and we help them get to service providers in the community. So we want to make sure that we circle in that loop. We are helping them find providers like Suncoast, et cetera, because we know that the ongoing care and mental health treatment is so important for all ages. And we want to let people know that we are here 24/7. It's a free call, and our staff are always available. One of the things I want to briefly touch upon is that we have a couple of initiatives that are there to support, whether it's our military or law enforcement. We have a new initiative. But basically, My Florida Vet is a peer-to-peer support line. The goal is for suicide prevention and helping those veterans engage with the VA and other services that can help them. We know that veterans have one of the highest rates of suicide, so it's very important that people know they can dial 211 for that veteran support line. And it's also for their families, because we know that families are in the void, they're struggling. VA will often help the veterans, but the families need that assistance as well. Their mental health is often taxed and as they're struggling to survive. We also have our new Hero for Hero support line, which is peer-to-peer support. We have individuals that are former law enforcement officers that will help those people on the front lines, whether it's a 911 dispatch communications person, whether it's an EMT, whether it's law enforcement, former military, et cetera. We're there to help those individuals get connected to service. And we know the importance of peer-to-peer. People just want to be heard and have their conversations and have understanding. So we're very proud for those two initiatives. They can reach us through, they can dial 211 and ask for those programs. And also mental health for seniors and caregivers. You know, seniors have really, and caregivers have bared the brunt of the policies of the shutdowns and the isolation. We're calling over 600 seniors every day to check in on them, to let them know that somebody cares and that we're there for them. This is a free phone call that anybody can sign up, an elder over 60, or it could be somebody younger with a disability. We're also including caregivers. You know, the CDC did do a survey, and they found that caregivers were experiencing higher than normal mental health concerns. So we want to let caregivers, that's adult family caregivers, caregiving for another adult family member, they can get that sunshine call to check in on them too. What a wonderful way to know that somebody cares about you and wants to make sure that everything in your household is okay. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'm going to step back because I know we have a very busy agenda. And again, as always, it's communication, it's talking about mental health. You know, if you broke your arm, you'd go see a doctor. Well, if you're feeling stuck and you feel that you're not really moving forward with your mental health, reach out to a practitioner and get those tools that can help you overcome challenges and move forward in a productive and happy fashion. I want to thank you so much.
Morning.
Good morning. Last but not least, I am Judy Oberdorf, a board member at New Horizons, Treasure Coast and Okeechobee, the hospital and the addiction prevention team. For 64 years, New Horizons has provided mental health and addiction recovery services to local residents in need of help. Today, those services include inpatient and outpatient care to 15,000 adults and children yearly, beginning at age 4, from across 4 counties, regardless of the ability to pay. The agency also serves 23,000 students, grade K through 12, by providing drug and alcohol prevention programs and anti-bullying curriculum. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in the U.S. for young people aged 10 to 34, and it's one of the leading causes of death for all adults, yet it is 100% preventable. Your proclamation sends a resounding message to the community. People really care, and help is available. Just some additional information about suicide. Alcohol and other substances amplify the risk of suicide among fragile populations. For every 1 completed suicide, 25 more have been attempted. And white middle-aged adults number almost 70% of all completed suicides in the U.S. The Martin County count, just from January through the end of August, is 17 completed suicides in our county here. We wish the number were 0. New Horizons response team operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have mental health professionals who can talk to you, and we are the only agency in the region that delivers mental health services directly to the person in need of help. No cost, no hassle, just call 211. And one of the many agencies that works with New Horizons will be on the phone to you. Thank you very much for your attention, and we appreciate the commissioners hearing us. Thank you.
Okay, for those of you, it might be your first time here, or maybe you don't come that often, we will take up public comment next. I have a whole bunch of public comment, and what I'm going to go do is just to make sure that how you filled it out is what you want to do. Some of you, we have roughly 22, 23 public comment this morning, and we also have roughly 30 comments for the rural lifestyle agenda item that's coming up later on. And so if you'd like to speak at public, I'm just going to call your name out just to get started with. If you'd like to speak at public, just raise your hand, and that'll help us. I assume Jackie Trensinger, you want to speak at public? Where's Jackie? She's out back? Backy? Yes? Okay. Harry MacArthur, you want to speak at public? John Pasqualone, you want to speak at public?
I'm seeing nodding.
Barbara Seaton, do you want to speak at public?
I see John giving you a thumbs up.
Renee Lassard, Mooreshead, you want to speak at public? Yes, thank you. Steve Cross, public? Mr. Cross? Diane
Chiarelli?
Chiarelli? Cieli? You want to speak at public? Yes, public? Okay. Sally O'Connell, you speaking at public? Yes? Denise Belazar, public? Yes, thank you. Carol Ann Leonard, public? Thank you. Ryan Gossell? Public? Heather Gilmore,
Yes, I see him.
public, thank you. Got it, thank you. Kaya Seguin? Sam Hay, public? Thank you. Jane West, public? Thank you. Michael Circus, public? Thank you. Amy Pritchett, public? Thank you. Robin Cartwright, public? Yes, public, okay. Thanks, John. Sam Bruning, public? Thank you. Noel? Public? Noel, sorry. Gil Smart, public. And Bob Zacchio, public. Okay, and Carol Fitzpatrick and Joanne Swan, public? No? You want to speak at the hearing? I'm sorry? Okay, during the hearing, during that public hearing. Okay, thank you very much for that.
Commissioner, I filled one for public too, you know.
Okay, let me go through that really quick and look for it. You want to speak at public? Okay. Andy Spears, public? Rural, okay, great, thank you.
Someone got his hand up.
Somebody else want to speak at public? Okay, did you all turn in public comment cards? But did you put the rural lifestyle on it? Okay. When we get to the end of public, if I haven't called out your name, just come up and I will go through the other batch and we'll get everybody at public, okay? So, that was for rural lifestyle. Okay, so we will start with our public comment this morning, and first public speaker will be Jackie Trenzinger.
Good morning. How on earth did this happen?
That you came today? I don't
No,
know. Laura
I
drove down here
wonder
from Jensen.
how I got to be first.
It
I
says,
thought I was
please call me up early.
That's how it happened.
No secret, Jackie.
Thank you so
welcome.
much. I've not thanked you for anything forever.
That'll probably be the first and the last, Jackie.
This is a big surprise. I was telling people out front during the protest to the rural lifestyle
part of your three-
amendment. Beg pardon?
Is this part of your 3 minutes?
Or is this the
Or
intro?
is this the prologue?
Prologue.
Start now, timing.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Mr.
I was
Donaldson?
telling people that if Chairman Smith saw my name on a piece of paper, it was going to go right on the bottom. But thank you very much.
Never cease.
I came today because I suddenly turned around and I'm 88 years old now. And I've been in Martin County for 20 years, and I'm famous for my speeches at the commission meetings. And I could not be here today because Maggie wanted me to be here today. And we should all just vote no because Maggie knew what was going to happen to Martin County if this amendment goes through. Save us all from becoming the place for the rich and famous, ladies and gentlemen, please. I'm not going to discuss the particulars. There are people that are much smarter than I am. And all I want you to do is to save Martin County from this horror that's been proposed. We have Michael Strahan and the Boston Brady, and those people have been telling you this is what they want for Martin County. And then you sit here and you discuss affordable housing. How hypocritical are you? You're going to do this and tell us that you really care about housing, suicide, all those proclamations, all these wonderful people who do marvelous things for Martin County. And what you're going to do now is you're going to ruin Martin County forever. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today first. And I don't know how that came about, but whoever arranged it, I love them.
Wow, Jackie, you love me. That's really something.
I didn't hear you. I'm a little deaf. Would you say it louder?
I absolutely will. You love me, Jackie. That's really special. Thank
I
you.
still didn't hear you.
Here, come on up. I'll whisper in your ear, Jackie.
No. Thank you, no.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Have a nice
ladies
day.
and gentlemen.
Okay,
please-
well, that's one way to start off. Bill Brab, is it Bill Brab? Thank you, Jackie.
Vote no.
Is it Bill Brab or Rab?
It's Bill Rab.
There you go.
You don't need the.
Got it.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. That's what government's about. You people represent us, and we hold you accountable usually. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. I've been here. We've been in Martin County raising beef and horses since '82. I've watched a lot of changes happen here. I have a place in New York that raises beef and cows and corn and everything else. And yeah, the pressures are the same everywhere for development. I see this all the time. The changes that have happened here in Martin County since we first came down here, quite evident. Anybody who's been around has seen them. And developers are always chomping at the bit. My friend who lived on the other end of the road from me wasn't even cold, and they were approaching his widow asking, well, what's he going to do with all that land? Well, keep it the way it is, because that's what the family likes, and what's wrong with that? But apparently some people don't feel that way. Well, I do. I would rather be fixing fence posts and spreading manure and all that other kind of stuff that I have to do, but I'm here. So, because this is important. Watching what's been happening and seeing these things, constant end runs around the comprehensive plan, I've seen it over and over again. Somebody buys a bunch of ag land because they got it because it's 1 unit per 20 acres, and then suddenly the pressure goes on to get it changed somehow to something they want where they can make a lot of money. Well, that's great, and they make a lot of money. And what does that do to Martin County? We run the risk of turning into another Port St. Lucie. You know, this place is special. There really is a lot here. We looked all over the place before we came down here and liked what we found. And there's constantly people trying to change it. Now, progress happens. I know that. I'm not stupid. Change is inevitable. But managing change for smart growth is the way to do it. This, as I said, we heard all talk about affordable housing. I have a son here who has moved down here, and he can't find a place to live unless I die and give it to him. But, you know, because it's too expensive. Well, there's a reason for that. And you want affordable housing, and yet you want to build a playground for people who have a lot of money. Well, that's not really going to work too well. This won't be a one-off. Oh, it's only for this one. No, it's not, because it's for this one, and then it'll be for that one, and then it'll be for the next one. I've seen this show over and over again in other states and in this state and in this county. So I'd like it to not happen. You know, yes, we need to look forward to the future of what changes are going to happen. And one of the things I learned long ago is if you want to see the change you want, you lead that change. You don't sit on the sidelines and let other people lead that change, because then you won't get what you're looking for. If you're the one out there saying, well, this is what I'd like to see, you stand a much better chance than if you just sit on the sidelines. Well, I got better things to do than be here, but this is important, so here I am. So please take that into account. I mean, we have commissioners who have done a great job as far as managing this.
Sir, your time is up.
Okay, managing the county. I'd like to see that continue, and I'd like to see this not just become.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Harry MacArthur, followed by John Pascalone.
Not my first rodeo.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Harry MacArthur. 50 years of speaking at commission meetings. I'm just starting. No, I can't follow Jackie. Jackie was amazing. But I just want to say, going back, we can go back to Hope Sound Plantation. We can go back to all these projects that have been.
Pull the mic up a little bit.
Microphone.
Hello? Now? Okay. All these projects have been tried to push through for the last 50 years. Mobile land off of Sea Branch, that was going to be 4 golf courses and everything else. We got the state to buy down, and we shut down them. So all those things were too soon. Of course, some of the people that I wanted to get Willoughby Boulevard pushed through to Bridge Road, I was told no on that and that I was crazy. Well, you needed another north-south corridor. I think it's time that, you know what, some of these other projects were way too soon. A great friend of mine, Nathaniel Reed. If anybody knows Nathaniel, he was a very smart man. About 10 or years ago, maybe more, when they was talking about clustering and everything else, we got into a conversation every week. And he said, we need to look more towards Europe and everything else, the way they do it, and the way they have towns and everything else with the farmlands out to the side where everybody can get along. This is something we need to look at. I don't know, our beef prices are low. The middleman's making all the money. The rancher's not making it. But I think if we can do something with rural density, I think has a good chance to go because of Nathaniel Reed, because otherwise I'd be saying no. But if you listen to people like Nathaniel, and there was another great man, I can't remember his name, is Walter Woods, another really smart guy that used to sit on planning and zoning. And he was the one that made me think a lot about this stuff instead of just my side. And so for those reasons, I'd like you to just think about rural density. I think it's a great thing. And I'm going to end on that note, but this is for Sarah. Roll Tide. I miss Walter, my buddy. Oh, my goodness. I put a jacket on just for him. I said, I got to represent Sarah today.
He sees it.
Love you.
Thank you, Harry. John Pasqualone. Following John, Mr. Fay, I did find your thing. Good morning.
Good morning. For the record, my name is John Pasqualone. I'm a resident of Hobe Sound and a 33-year resident of Martin County. I'm also a former 25-year employee of Martin County. My wife and I are small business owners in Hobe Sound, and we're both active with the Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce. Tammy's on the board of directors, and I'm the chair of the Chamber's Government Affairs Committee. We both have a vested interest in the future of Martin County and of Hobe Sound. We have had several opportunities to attend educational presentations on the Rural Lifestyle Land Use Designation and the Discovery Project, and for the record, we do support both. In my years in Martin County, I served a majority as the county fire marshal. I was on the front lines of managing development to county codes, standards, and development rules, even serving on a development review committee for nearly 20 years with Mr. Donaldson right next to me most of that time. I can say with certainty that in my day of representing the county's interest, I did not support changing the rules for a given project unless they brought a unique quality to the table that had not been previously considered, and that quality must meet a minimum standard that was above and beyond current policies. Additionally, I did not support any new project that violated or proposed to weaken the established and adopted codes. I believe the proposed land use and discovery project bring that unique opportunity to us. I witnessed many protests against growth in the past 3 decades and arguments that we are ignoring our storied and award-winning comprehensive plan. I often ask folks, where'd you come from and how long have you been here? I'd follow that with, I remember when blank, insert your development name here, was a wooded lot and kids would play and set fires in there and we'd go arrest them for setting fires. As I often stated when I was employed here, we have a comprehensive growth management plan. That means we have a tool to plan for responsible growth. That plan is amended from time to time to acknowledge emerging issues and trends, but the comprehensive growth management plan still identifies level of service needs and boundaries for the urban service areas. More times than not, our levels of service change over time, even when we are only building infill development. Without a new source to pay for this enhanced level of service, the burden falls on us. 5-acre lots with ag exemptions will not sustain us. Unless we open the door to some clean transient development, taxable development, we can open our wallets to preserve the good nature we all came to love and enjoy here, some recently and some many decades ago. We will all share the burden when the level of service expansions are necessary and the price of construction is not going down. All of you on the board know that I spent a lot of time in Tallahassee lobbying for fire safety issues. It's only a matter of time before we as a county are forced to encounter the state of Florida and home rule issues. How long is it going to be before somebody with more legislative influence petitions the Florida legislature and tells us in Martin County, you have no more regulatory authority over development in your community? Everything will be commuted through the State Department of Economic Opportunity or another growth management entity yet to be named. Excuse me, almost done. I look forward to the day when the streets of Hobe Sound are bustling with a new clientele and we can stand proud and say we are on the map for a good reason. Come enjoy our good nature. Please vote yes on the Rural Land Designation Amendment.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scott Fay, followed by Barbara Seaton. Mr. Fay, good morning.
Good morning. That was excellent, John, and I could just say ditto and save us some time, but I do want to add just one thing, really, because you all have heard lots and lots of facts and so-called facts. You've heard lots and lots of opinions. And Martin County is awesome because people really care and come out and express those opinions, and I'm glad we have this forum. I think for me, the biggest issue isn't the logic. It's not about the facts. It's about change. I think all of us, no matter either side of any issue, would agree if given the choice, we would vote no change to anything, if given the choice. But that isn't ever even a choice. Choice, as already been said, is inevitable. Choice is going to change. We're either going to choose the change or the change is going to choose us. I think we have been given something on a silver platter. I think this does nothing but help us. Everything about this project is good for Martin County and helps us move in the direction we need to move to help with these other things. It actually will help us with affordable housing because it brings resources to us. It helps us with jobs. It helps us all the way around and doesn't take anything from it. So I beg each one of you to vote for this project. I think it's really good. And I mean this hopefully in the right way. I think the way we vote on this project speaks to our vision for the future. It speaks to what you really believe the future is important for Martin County. Please vote yes for this rural project. Thank you very much.
Ms. Seaton, followed by Renee Lessard, Moore's Head. Ms. Seaton, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, all of you interested folks. I'm a little confused by some of the words used in the proposed amendment to the Martin County Comprehensive Plan. That's that plan which has served us all so well, and which, by the way, does accommodate change. Take lifestyle. Don't most of us aspire to a genuine life, not a lifestyle? Lifestyle is reminiscent of that dated voyeuristic TV show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, which claimed to give us a glimpse of a very elite few. But more importantly, take that word green space. Green space is promised in the plans for the Atlantic Fields subdivision. Green space evokes visions of a natural area, a peaceful area, where a person can take a stroll or a run, perhaps bring a dog, have a picnic, or even just sit and read, or maybe sketch or do nothing at all. But on closer reading of the proposal, green space seems to be a golf course, or is it a polo field, or perhaps a race course? The meaning isn't clear, and it raises the question, green space for whom? Now, I live in a community with a central golf course, and admittedly, it is green, especially with all the rain we've been having. It even has greens. However, its perimeter is posted with signs which specifically forbid doing any of those things, which I mentioned that we might enjoy in a green space. Being a homeowner or even being a member of the club does not allow you to be in the green space unless you're actually playing golf. So assuming you can get through the security gates to Atlantic Fields, access to this so-called green space is seriously limited. What do you get? A need for regular irrigation and fertilization, which ends up in runoff? Lifestyle, green space. Only a couple of the words which can be so misleading. Do we really want to jeopardize or weaken the safeguards provided by our very precise, comprehensive plan for these or any of the other ambiguous words in the proposals presented here? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Renee Mooreshead, followed by, good morning, by Steve Cross. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to be brief because I'm not a great speaker. But I've lived here in Martin County for just about 23 years now, and I've seen it change considerably. There's newcomers, and I have a lot of new friends that have moved to the area, and even they are shocked at the development that's happening within our urban service boundary. Then we allow this extension that we say, oh, and this one has anything over 1,000 acres, they can have 5-acre lots also. And what happens eventually to those 5-acre lots? Do they get rezoned into smaller communities? And then here we are from our boundary extended to Indiantown with homes throughout, and from Palm City to Indiantown with homes throughout. And that's excessive, unnecessary. We have space within our urban service boundary to build, and we should build within it. That's what you planned on, and that's how we should go forward at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Steve Cross. Okay, I'll put you at the bottom of the pile if you're not here. Is that you, sir, in the back? Okay, great. Followed by Diane Giacarli. Ciccarelli, sorry. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Steve Cross. I'm here to speak in favor of Atlantic Fields and the rural lifestyle development. As a local businessman, I see the jobs that it will create. I see the revenue it will bring to the county. And I think it's a really unique and smart approach to what is inevitable. It preserves land. It provides a new way that hasn't really been tried, that I think is very innovative and will be very beneficial and will prevent a lot of the problems that some people have brought up here earlier today. Thank you.
Following Diane will be Sally O'Connell.
Hi, I'm Diane Ciccarelli. I'm here on behalf of individuals with developmental disabilities in our area. Presently, there's no continuum of services for individuals that need housing. They either live at home or they live in a group home. When they live in a group home, it takes away their rights to who works with them, for them, who their roommates are, what size room they have, what they want for dinner, where they want to go, etc. I was told that there are 2 acres at the bottom of the bridge that the county has that they were looking to use for affordable housing. I would prefer if they investigated using that for individuals with developmental disabilities. Presently, there are a number of communities throughout the state, the Promise in Brevard, Noah's Ark in Lakeland, Jacksonville Ark has also. They're planned communities for individuals so that they have, what is the word I want to use. They have support. And they also have individuals that are like them. So they're not isolated and segregated, living alone in the communities. So that's what I wanted, that's what I'm here for.
And just as a backup, Diane was the original member of the Family Care Council, Area 15, which represents St. Lucie, Indian River, Martin, and Okeechobee counties, and I am the standing co-chair of Family Care Council, governor appointed, and I serve to help educate and empower individuals who are on the Medicaid waiver, who are to receive these services, to be able to have home and community-based services, to live, to work, and to be employed to what our Florida statute says, that we're an employment first state. In other words, they're not to be locked away in a workshop anymore. ADA says they are to have accessibility to their community. And if you build with federal monies, they're supposed to be 10 to 15% for a special needs population. We advocate that you put those most vulnerable in our state at the head of that special population. I have a loved one, Diane has a loved one, we are parents and we are volunteers of the state to help bring you education today. I will leave my brochure and information. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Sally O'Connell, followed by Denise Belazar.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Sally O'Connell, and I'm speaking today because I remain very opposed to CPA 2108, CPA 2109, and the Becker PUD. There has never been such a dramatic change proposed to the Martin County Comprehensive Plan. It basically opens up tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of agricultural acres to urban and suburban development, which is not needed. It does not meet the requirements for land use change, and it is incompatible with the surrounding agricultural uses. There seems to be an assumption that if citrus is no longer viable, all agricultural land should be written off. Existing agriculture won't be able to compete with rural lifestyle. Yet it is all made to sound so wonderful. Celebrity millionaires are coming to town, more golf courses. But it's not wonderful. It's a disaster for protecting agricultural land. It's a disaster traffic-wise and for the taxpayers, utility customers, and all residents of Martin County who believed things would be different and better here. First of all, there is no such thing as self-contained, self-supporting development. Ironically, our agriculture is the least dependent land use on public services. If ever there was an example of a land use that will require significant public services, it's rural lifestyle. These celebrity billionaires will demand the highest level of emergency services, the highest level of utility services, and road improvements. And how about those density calculations? Could they be any more fraudulent and deceptive? 5 units per acre, so long as you don't count golf cottages, ancillary buildings, and dormitories. When they are counted, the density is over 10 units to the acre, and that is urban development. Shame on staff. Maximum density has always been the standard for land use changes. And then there's all those ambiguous promises about water quality without any responsibility for monitoring. My granny used to tell me that promises were like pie crust, easily broken. We, the public, are your constituents, and we did not just fall off the cabbage truck. We are paying attention. Please vote against the Becker Discovery Amendments and PUD. Thank you.
Denise Belazar. Ms. Belazar, followed by Carol Ann Leonard. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for letting us all speak to you today. My name is Denise Belazar. I have been a resident of Martin County for nearly 25 years. And before the vote on the rural lifestyle designation today, I wanted to offer just a few comments. My concerns are this. Primarily, the apparent rush to make major changes to our county's comp plan driven by a developer's request. Throughout, this has been a case of the tail wagging the dog. It sets an extremely dangerous precedent that would undoubtedly impact future developments and not for the better. Perhaps this situation has occurred because our county hasn't proactively and in a nonpartisan manner addressed future growth and how it can best be mapped out to maintain the Martin County difference, something that you all talk about in your campaign promises. A comprehensive planning process that establishes a task force and brings everyone to the table for discussion is long overdue. Part of that planning should also address affordable housing for the working class. On a positive note, the reduction of applicable acreage under this designation from 130,000 down to just under 12,000 acres is a welcome change. The sobering part of this is that we were dangerously close to approving the larger figure. If that doesn't frighten all of us, it should. So why are we here? As proposed, Atlantic Fields would be a gated community and seasonal playground for the uber wealthy and famous. Its residents will be here scant weeks per year and will not be invested in the community. But their rarely used golf course and extensive landscaping must be maintained and watered year-round, impacting all of our water tables. What happens when drought seasons occur? At least one commissioner has made remarks about the apparent windfall the tax base from this development would provide. I would caution that these promises never work out as planned. And by eroding the strength of our comp plan, it's costing us too much already. Despite some positive changes to the proposed designation, the issues that remain are extensive and have been comprehensively detailed by the guardians of Martin County. I urge you to take their thoughtful concerns and input seriously. Those of us who are protesting this change are not anti-growth. We are for smart growth. We are for adapting our county for the future in a way that maintains the Martin County difference for the betterment of our fragile environment and for all of our citizens, not just a privileged few. I think it's time for that comprehensive planning process. Thank you all.
Following Ms. Leonard is Ryan Gossell. Good morning.
Good morning. Here we go again. Once more, the Rural Lifestyle Amendment is on the agenda. We have the same concerns to write and speak to the commissioners about. I believe the commissioners have gotten lots of emails from the public who oppose it. I know of 6 environmental and conservation organizations that have opposed it. Recently, only developers and a county employee met with the public. Why isn't the county willing to? Very little has changed. Is taking off some acres near Indiantown supposed to appease us? How is that to work when Indiantown has its own comprehensive plan? Discovery Land Atlantic Fields should not have any relation to the land in the Rural Lifestyle Amendment. Would it be possible to allow a smaller area around and including this development to be delineated and have the RLS designation? The proposal remains of 1,000 contiguous acres that touch or have a road between them in the primary and secondary urban service districts or a freestanding industrial service district that will get the Rural Lifestyle designation. There's the possibility in the future for other similar revisions to take place and new links could form in this chain. If you allow future developments like Discovery Land per the Rural Lifestyle Amendment to be on other agricultural land, what will happen with an increased need for roads, fire, rescue, sheriff, and schools that they will not have on site? What about water and sewer, septic? Traffic is a big issue even with the snowbirds gone. I hope they wrote the commissioners their opposition. I heard in prior approved ag tech amendments, a developer promised a bustling agricultural, educational, technical, commercial project in Palm City. Hundreds of high-paying jobs and millions of dollars were to come to the county. They haven't. Discovery Land's project has some commissioners thinking they'll collect huge taxes from the mega mansions for the wealthy. There's no guarantee. The county thinks they won't have to pay out much. One county staff man told me they weren't going to widen Bridge Road. With 317 homes, 18 or more golf cottages, a golf course, or more of those, polo field, and possible employed dorms, I doubt that. Commissioners, Hurd, Heatherington, and Campy were previously opposed to the Rural Lifestyle Amendment as it applied to thousands of acres of agricultural land. I urge all of you to reject the Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2808 Becker B14 text permanently. Only consider CPA 21-09 Becker 14 Flume and the PUD Master Site Plan if the Discovery Project has been given in detail with complete and true information to residents about the impact of these changes on our comp plan, quality of life, environment, and cost. Thank you.
Ma'am. Ryan Gozell, followed by Heather Gilmore. Mr. Gozell, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Gessel, and I'm a resident of Martin County and a small business owner here in the community. I own Wags About You, the pet boutique in the downtown public shopping center. On June 7th of this year, you unanimously voted on Ordinance 1181, which gives my business and employees an expiration date. As a resident and a member of the community, I request that you consider the impacts that the adoption of this ordinance will have on me personally and my employees. I have invested a lot of time, effort, and money in opening this venture, and I personally guaranteed a 5-year lease. On June 7th of this year, a news reporter showed up outside my business to ask my reaction about the ordinance after it was already passed. This was the first time I've heard of it. My business, Wags About You, has never been visited by any county official, nor has any complaints or violations against it. I feel with this decision, there was no due diligence on the county's part. With such a major decision, I would expect my county commissioners to allow me the right to defend my business against the accusations made. I have family roots in Martin County since the 70s. This has been home and the place I thought best to open my business. During the ordinance reading, it was said that my store is a health and safety violation to the community. I would like to explain this statement is incorrect. Prior to opening my business, I worked diligently to ensure I would have adequate processes and local resources in place to ensure the safety of the community and animals. Dr. Wayne Diamond, owner of Boulevard Animal Hospital and a respected veterinarian in this community for over 40 years, is a resource to my business to ensure that every animal brought into my store is well cared for. Dr. Diamond comes to my business on a weekly basis to provide a physical exam to each pet, ensures that they are vaccinated, microchipped, and have no signs of illness before issuing a Florida State Health Certificate. Dr. Diamond has written a letter of support for my business and is willing to join us for a meeting. I understand and support the need for adoption from our shelters and rescue groups, but because of so many unknowns and uncertainties, rescue is not an option for some families. For instance, some have young children, some suffer from allergies, and some just have a specific need or breed that a resource cannot provide. Adopt or shop should be a decision each community member is able to make for themselves. The community has accepted my store and are grateful to be able to buy and support a local business offering healthy, happy, and guaranteed pets. Lastly, during the ordinance reading, it was mentioned that the other counties in our surrounding area have passed similar ordinances banning the retail sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits. It is important to know that majority of the counties mentioned did not shut down any stores when implementing their pet ban. For example, Palm Beach County passed an ordinance in 2016 grandfathering in their existing pet stores and not allowing more to open. Similar to Pinellas, Pasco, Osceola, Indian River, and Brevard, St. Lucie County did not have any stores to close. I am blessed to help many families add new pets to their homes, and I welcome you to visit my business to see firsthand how well maintained and clean my business operates. I ask you reconsider Martin County's ordinance number 1181, and you put it back on the agenda for the next commissioner meeting. I hope you will consider the impacts it will have on our community, my employees, and my business, Wags About You. Thank you.
Thank you. Heather Gilmore. Ms. Gilmore. Following Ms. Gilmore is Kaya Seguin. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Heather Gilmore, and I've been a Martin County resident for 32 years. I am here today as a concerned employee of Wags About You. Since I've been old enough to have a job, I've never really thought of a job in Martin County best fits for me. They were really never what I wanted until I found Wags About You. I started there in February of 2022, and it's my favorite job yet. Everything we do about Wags, the puppies come first. The day they arrive, they are examined, bathed, and loved. From being played with throughout the day and being checked out by our local vet, the puppies are what come first. That's what I love about my job. My coworkers and I all rely on this job to pay our bills and to build our careers with animals. By shutting down Wags About You, we will be left unemployed. I work there 5 days a week. I rely on this job to pay my bills, and all of my other coworkers are also concerned about losing their jobs. Please reconsider Ordinance 1181 and allow me to continue to the job that I love. Thank you kindly.
Thank you very much. Is it Kaya? Kaya? Oh, Kayla, I'm sorry. Following Kayla will be Sam Hay. Good morning.
I'm actually speaking on behalf of Dr. Wayne Diamond at Boulevard Animal Hospital today. So thank you for the opportunity to address this body. Unfortunately, I cannot be here in person as I am currently performing surgeries. Ms. Sequin is my office manager, and I'm sending her to read you this letter in my place so that it can be admitted into the record. There are many types of organizations that fulfill a need in providing pets to loving homes. Pet owners come with a variety of interests and needs. Many people are looking to adopt a stray pet that has made its way into our local humane society or a rescue organization. Others wish to adopt an older pet with a few short years left to live. There are also people who wish to purchase a purebred dog or one of the designer breeds available through independent breeders and/or pet stores. All these needs can and should be addressed in my work. Over the last 4 decades, I have assisted numerous stores and organizations providing guidance to safeguard both the optimal health as well as care of the pets at these facilities. For any of these organizations to be successful, the first and most important need is that the owner must truly care for and about the pets that they are selling or adopting. If the pets are maintained in a clean and neat facility, preventative medical care is provided, and strict attention is paid to the pet's well-being, then the pets as well as the community will be well served. Mr. Ryan Gessel is the owner of Wags About You in Stewart. Mr. Gessel contacted me prior to opening his facility and asked if I would help him with the development of his operation and be his advisor in the ongoing operation. Prior to the store opening, I went to the facility and interviewed Mr. Gessel to evaluate his sincerity in providing a safe, clean environment for the pets under his care. I was pleasantly surprised to see his facility and all that he had achieved in the built-out, and even more impressed when he stated that he would do whatever I recommended as he wished to provide the best environment possible for animals under his care. Wags About You purchases the puppies they sell from small family breeders throughout the country. When the pups arrive each week, I go to the store and examine each puppy. Following this visit, our prescribed preventative medical program begins. Each puppy receives an initial microscopic fecal examination to evaluate the status of parasites in each puppy upon arrival. All puppies receive its first of many baths, preventative care for fleas, ticks, intestinal parasites, and ear mites. In addition, each puppy is maintained on a vaccination protocol for the prevention of distemper, hepatitis, parvovirus, parainfluenza, and bordetella. Once a pup has been purchased, the owner will receive a health certificate signed by me, noting the puppy is healthy and has received age-appropriate vaccinations, is free of internal and external parasites, and has no evidence of any communicable diseases. While there are some who do not believe that anyone should purchase a pet from a pet store, these establishments provide a need for members of our community who do wish to purchase a particular breed rather than adopt. Their needs are justifiable and important as well. It is my firm belief that Mr. Gessel is a responsible, respectable business owner. His establishment meets and often exceeds what is required of him. He himself takes great care and personal pride in the care of these animals.
Ma'am, your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Mr. Hay, good morning. Following Mr. Hay is Jane West. Good morning.
Morning. I'm Sam Hay. I live in Port Salerno. And I've come today to urge you to reject CPA 2109, and in particular CPA 2108, the proposed land use designation misleadingly named rural lifestyle. This amendment is riddled with vague language open to a broad range of interpretation and fails to provide accountability to protect the agricultural areas of our county from overdevelopment. If approved, rural lifestyle would so undermine our county's comprehensive plan as to render it practically useless. Since it was adopted in 1982, the comp plan has served to protect us from the overdevelopment which has despoiled so much of South Florida. It has also helped to prevent excessive land speculation. If we lose the comp plan, property values in the parts of our county now designated agricultural will likely skyrocket, and only the very rich will be able to afford land. This would create the potential for rampant development, increased traffic congestion, environmental degradation, increased crime, urban sprawl, and a broad decline in our quality of life. I don't know who stands to benefit from this change other than the developers who would reap a handsome profit at the expense of the rest of us. Some supporters of rural lifestyle have suggested that the $1 million homes in the proposed development would generate such handsome tax values as to enhance our county's finances. But this seems doubtful. This claim, like the claim that cutting taxes on the super rich will result in business investment and job creation, has repeatedly been proven false. But apologists continue to trot out these discredited claims to justify policies which benefit the rich at the expense of everyone else. Please protect our comp plan, reject rural lifestyle, and preserve what we have left of the charm and rural character of Martin County. None of us wants to see our home turned into another charmless, soulless urban waste like so much of what we see in the counties to our south and north. Once the open natural spaces become exploited for development, there's no turning back. The change will be permanent and irreversible. Please don't allow this to happen. Thank you.
Ms. West, good morning. Following Ms. West will be Michael Circus.
Thank you, and good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jane West. I'm the Policy and Planning Director for 1,000 Friends of Florida, the state of Florida's leading growth management advocacy organization. I want to thank the Commissioners who accepted our invitation to discuss some options that would make this a better amendment from a smart growth perspective. I'm going to recap a couple of the suggestions we made that you can still implement here today. We appreciate the fact that this latest form of the amendment, according to the presentations by the developers team in a recent workshop, would apply to 11,924 acres abutting the urban services and ag tech districts. It was a good first step in limiting the scope of this proposed amendment. But that acreage limit isn't reflected in any map that will be adopted here today. We have repeatedly requested that the properties that can avail themselves of rural lifestyles be reflected on a map to provide the public some level of transparency. But staff has refused, and in Indiantown at a recent workshop hosted by the developer, Nikki Von Vano explained that a map was not possible because there were simply too many hypotheticals. That is exactly the problem. Hypotheticals are the exact opposite of meaningful and predictable standards required under Florida statutes. So, if no map, Commissioners, just codify the acreage cap of 11,924 acres in the text amendment here today. You can do that without negatively impacting Mr. Hurley's discovery project whatsoever. By that motion, add to the text amendment the geographical limitations of this amendment with an acreage cap of 11,924 acres. This will alleviate concerns of the impact of this amendment when the USB is moved in a few years because of the population thresholds being tripped up in the urban core. Second, if your objective is to truly create a greenbelt around the USB, then do so today by adding language that mandates a perimeter conservation easement buffer so that no future adjacent properties can capitalize on the domino effect of sprawl. As it currently stands, rural lifestyles doesn't create a greenbelt, it creates a Western development welcome mat. I want to thank Tom Hurley and his team for meeting with our team to listen to our suggestions. I've often thought that if Discovery had just proceeded with a site-specific amendment, they would be at a groundbreaking ceremony here today instead of in this chamber. But instead, they proceeded to lasso in thousands of other acres that don't even belong to them. With Tom Hurley's well-respected reputation in the community, he got saddled with a half-baked rural lifestyles idea, and I couldn't help but ask, why? And repeatedly, I was told by team and county staff, this will help with the Harmony litigation. This is the Harmony red herring. Are we really to believe that by approving another development that is not Harmony, the attorney who chased down Maggie Hercella's last kayak in aid of execution of a judgment is going to look at this and think, oh yeah, this is fine, I'll dismiss my lawsuit now? I don't think so. Finally, and most importantly, thank you for your time. Please consider a super majority requirement for future land use. Thank you.
Michael Circus, followed by Amy Pritchett. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Michael Circus, Palm City. It's an honor to be here as we made this designation looking at the Constitution Week. As stated earlier, the Constitution of the United States was ratified September 17th, 1787. And although an important date for sure, it is only a snapshot of our founding. On September 25th of 1789, we proposed 12 more amendments to that Constitution. 10 of those amendments will be ratified on December 15th, 1791. Of those 10 amendments ratified, we established the rights of the individual, the rights of the accused, and we've codified what our rights are that are endowed to us by our Creator. As a matter of fact, of the rights that were established on that cold December day, it was only the last 3 rights that recognized the limitations to central power, and by extension, we codify what is endowed to us and what is undeniable to the citizen. In 1964, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of New York Times in their seminal case versus Sullivan. In 2010, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Citizens United versus the Federal Elections Commission. And although both of these cases have very little in common, they share one unalienable and undeniable truth in their victories, and that is the right of business and civic organizations to enjoy constitutional liberties as if they were independent citizens. Now, in June of this year, this commission voted unanimously, 5-0, that was going to irreparably damage 2 existing businesses in our county. And although we went through the effort to notify all 5 municipalities in advance and afford them the opportunity to opt out, it would appear that our businesses were not given the same considerations. Now, whether this is done by mistake or whether this is done intentional is absolutely irrelevant, because today you guys have the authority to go back and rectify that mistake. The right to face your accuser, the right to due process, the right to sit back and defend your case. That was what was denied our 2 businesses. You guys have the opportunity to have a second hearing. You have the opportunity to grandfather in the 2 existing businesses. What I would ask is that you do not allow Constitution Week to go by as an empty platitude. Do not wave the document as if it is some political prop and nothing more. Understand what our Constitution is, why we have it, and live that in every decision that you make. Thank you.
Amy Pritchett, followed by Robin Cartwright.
Good morning. I saw on the agenda that it's Hunger Action Month, and I wanted to let the community know that there is a wonderful organization that feeds the hungry in Martin County. They're called Our Community Table, and they meet every Saturday at the Grace Place, starting at 7 a.m. They prepare, plate, and deliver food to the hungry in about 8 locations throughout Martin County. And I wanted everyone to know that if they were interested in volunteering, this is a great opportunity to do that. We have over 350 volunteers now, and 1/3 of them are children, ages, I think, 10 to 18. So if anyone is interested in this opportunity, please contact me. And I would also like to add my support to the 2 pet stores that were asked to stop selling bunnies and kitties and puppies. Anyone who knows me knows my email address starts with Adopt Don't Shop, but that doesn't take away the right for small businesses to participate in this country and in this county. Thank you.
Ms. Cartwright, followed by Sam Brunin. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for letting me speak today. Last night, I watched the City of Stuart meeting where they reviewed the happenings to date for the Canner CPUD, and the parallels between that and this are very interesting. Developers are driving an impactful, important, but self-serving change, and it's not right. It doesn't matter what the project is or who the developer is when you need to change the rules. And as a reminder, for the city, that argument was won by residents, not the city. A comp plan change should be based on long-term goal of preserving a community's integrity and character, and a comp plan change should be led by the commissioners and county staff, not by the developers. A comp plan approval most definitely should not be an ordinance-based contingency of any quid pro quo of any land donation or something like an environmental offset, such as using a for-profit tree farm owned by the land developer as a place to buy into or a golf course as green space. It sets a precedent that could open the commission to other proposals by other developers and applicants, as well as potential lawsuits if you approve this one and not others. Creating a credit-based system, though, is not a bad idea, and if you're going to do that, then let's do it right. The Rate of Growth Ordinance, or the ROGO plan in Monroe County and the Keys, is a great example. The ROGO, with like efforts, was created to abate the overdevelopment of a fragile ecosystem, protect the potable water supply in environmentally sensitive areas, and limits and growth to maintain the amount of time currently needed for hurricane evacuation procedures, none of which has been included in any of the staff reports. Or be a thought leader and create an offset that helps with attainable housing. This project, nor any project that's come before you, does anything for that effort. If you're going to succumb to the pressures of a developer, create a credit system that is sustainable, that truly benefits the community, and formalize it so it's not ordinance-based. Make it so everybody has to do it. But then you'll say, but property owners have rights, and they do. They do have rights if they work within the comp plan. They do not have a right to an approval of an application. So please host the town halls that you promised. Please remember your campaign promises. Hire an outside consultant if you need to review the comp plan. I hear there's a good one that we used against the city of Stuart. If you need his number, let me know. In closing, if the county is truly set on amending the comp plan, then consider declaring a zoning in place like the city proposed last night until the details of this amendment can be thoroughly understood and the comp plan change can be done the right way. Thank you.
And Bruning, followed by Noel.
Good morning. I'm Sam Bruning, President-elect of the Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce, we would like to thank you for your time you've spent serving Martin County. The Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce's Board of Directors appreciates the time you spend researching agenda items and the impacts those items may have on our community. The Discovery Project will directly affect the Hobe Sound area. Our board believes that we need to share our thoughts on this project with the county commissioners. The mission of the Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce is to advance the general welfare and prosperity of the Hobe Sound area so that its citizens and all the areas of its businesses will prosper. Our board feels that the jobs and wages, as well as the tax revenue generated for this project, will be extremely positive for Hobe Sound's economy and Martin County as a whole. The Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce asks that you consider voting in favor of the Discovery Land Project and to enhance our local economy and the future of Martin County. The Hobe Sound Chamber of Commerce's Board of Directors voted to support this project with 2 members abstaining, our CEO and board member that is a local civil engineer, to avoid any real or perceived conflict of interest. The word commerce appears in the name of the organization. Our Board of Directors feels this project will help increase commerce in the southern portion of Martin County. Based on the potential economic benefits to Chamber members in the Hobe Sound community, we believe that we must share our opinion before you vote today. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. How are you? Following Noel is Gil Smart.
Good morning. My name is Noel Del Val, and I'm coming to you as a Martin County resident today. We live in an amazing place, the United States of America. If you narrow that down, we live in an even better state, the state of Florida. And if we narrow that even down even further, we live in an amazing county, Martin County. Martin County is absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's a great place for our kids to grow up, and it's a great place to have a business. With that said, all that beauty comes with a price. The price is everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to live here. There's an eminent demand for growth, development, and with that comes the decision on how and when and what that development looks like. Part of that comes in with the decisions that you are faced with as county commissioners. Rural lifestyle plan as proposed is developed and presented in a way to properly develop that land. We cannot stop the growth. Everybody here, the common denominator, the common theme is change. You can't stop change, but you can change properly. And with the plan proposed in front of you, that change can be done properly. It's important that these decisions be made on the county level, because if we let these decisions go to the state, then we're at the mercy of the state. Thank you.
Gil Smart, followed by Bob Zacchio. Smart, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name's Gil Smart, and I'm Executive Director of Vote Water,
We're headquartered right down the road in Sewell's Point, an environmental organization dedicated to the notion that Florida's water and environmental issues are ultimately a political problem and require a political solution. On the Rural Lifestyles Amendment, my question is simple. Who does this serve? The people of Martin County, your constituents? If you were to poll all Martin County residents, I suspect we'd find a significant majority who would say commissioners should not be making changes to the comprehensive plan that make it easier to develop yet more land, particularly rural lands. But here Martin County is on the cusp of doing so. Why? Who does it serve? There's obviously quite a bit of money to be made if you vote yes. The county appears lured by the prospect of increased tax revenues. Some see this in terms of what is to be gained, but a lot of people here are worried about what's going to be lost. We are concerned about the vague phrasing of the proposal, believing it would do little to protect natural resources like water. Lines like, quote, promoting sustainability and stewardship of the land and water sound good, but don't really mean anything. And elsewhere it appears that when it comes to water quality and wetlands protections and the like, the slightest exceedance of the county's standards, whatever they are, however insufficient they might be, would meet the terms of the policy. We are also concerned about an issue raised by a previous commenter in terms of how the green space and open space in this community would be managed. If it's golf courses, if it's if it's parkland, it's going to require significant amounts of irrigation water, perhaps significant amount of fertilizer. If we think Tom Brady is going to put up with brown grass in his community, we are mistaken. So we're concerned ultimately about water quantity and water quality as a result of this. Beyond all this, to echo what's been said previously, this proposal represents a foot in the door. It is the gateway to even more development. If we allow services beyond the current, urban services beyond the current boundary, it makes additional development of rural lands inevitable. You put upward pressure on farmland prices and make farming less viable in Martin County because, hey, if county commissioners approve this proposal, they're probably going to approve that proposal, and the gold rush is on. We talk about how this is going to be large lots, low density, completely auto-dependent. It's pretty much the dictionary definition of sprawl, but this is what Palm Beach County Mayor Robert Weinroth recently called snob zoning, which accommodates only the wealthiest patrons. Martin County has a housing problem. This does nothing to address that. Unfortunately, Weinroth's comments came in the context of that county debating significantly higher density in its agricultural reserve area, and that's what we mean about the foot in the door. A little development leads to a lot of development and ultimately more intensive development in an area where there wasn't supposed to be development at all. Is this what Martin County residents want? If you truly believe that, then vote yes. But if you believe that this is not what Martin County residents want, you have an obligation to them and to posterity to vote no. Thank you.
Bob Zacchio.
Bob Zacchio will be back. He asked you to put in his request.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Pam Brunell. Following Ms. Brunell, John Gonzalez.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name's Pam Brunell. I live in Rio. This amendment change is, like everybody says, for the rich and famous. Tom Brady, he bought a gazillion-dollar mansion. What did he do? He tore it down to build his own gazillion-dollar mansion. So if we have the Strahans and the Bradys doing what they want because they have the money and the resources and the people, are they going to live? Is this going to be their permanent homes? I doubt it. They might be in these homes a week out of the year, maybe a month out of the year. So who ends up picking all that, the garbage, the electricity? Is that on our bill? While they are out in their other homes they don't live in most of the time? How many homes do these people have? How many homes do they need that they don't live in? So they want to do that to Martin County? I say no. Let them go hop, skip around all the country, wherever they have homes. I don't think they need a home here in Martin County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Gonzalez, good morning. Following Mr. Gonzalez is Nikki Lucero.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm representing myself. I'm John Gonzalez. I live in Stewart. I've lived in Martin County a little over 30 years. I've lived in Florida all my life, native Floridian. I emailed all of you my support for this amendment. I think it makes a lot of sense for the county, for the landowners, for all of us. And I don't really want to waste a lot of your time. And there's a lot of people here that want to speak, but it's the right thing to do for Martin County. It's the right thing to do for the landowners. My family's owned land in Florida for a long time, and it's important to be able to transition from one opportunity to another. I'm in favor of it. I think most of Hope Sound's in favor of it. A lot of my friends and family are in favor of it, so I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey, Nikki, we have reached our 10:30 sort of point in time. Nikki, if you want to come up and you'll be our final speaker. We're going to take a 10-minute closed captioning break after Nikki, and then we will come back and finish up public comment.
Okay.
Good morning.
All right. I like being the closing act. All right. Hello, my name is Nikki Lucera. Commissioners, thank you very much for being here. I love you guys very much. I love this community. I am a very big, active resident in this community. I've been here for 20 years now, actually to this month, so happy anniversary to me. I have a family here, born and raised. I have a teenage daughter now, and that's scary. But when we started raising a family, we realized that we wanted to be here in Martin County. The schools, we wanted to own a home in Martin County, and that's exactly what we did. It was a hard feat. My husband and I, we have 4 separate incomes just to maintain that lifestyle status quo that we have set for ourselves, that we wanted to do. And not to mention the fact that I am a realtor. I have been a realtor for 7 years now, so I understand the economy and I know the market, and I know that it's not change, it's growth, and we need growth. On that note, I am in full support of the Rural Lifestyle Discovery Project. Thank you very much.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, we have closed captioning. They need a break, and we do this every commission meeting around this time. So we will take a 10-minute break for closed captioning, and we will return close to 11:45.
You're on.
Okay, everybody, if you'd all please take your seats, we're going to resume with our public comment this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Gil? Gil? Mr. Smart? Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you.
Okay, if you all please take your seat, we'll resume with our public. Did Bob Zacchio come back?
No.
Bob Zacchio?
He's shaping young minds.
Okay. Our next public speaker this morning will be Jeff Whitman. And following Mr. Whitman will be Frank LaBeauty.
I see Jeff wandering around.
Jeff Whitman. If you're out back, Jeff Whitman. Okay, we'll wait for Jeff to come back. Mr. LaBeauty, is that right? Frank LaBeauty, please. Followed by Jimmy Smith. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Frank LaBeauty. I'm a retired Marine, three-star general, and delighted and honored to be here in Stuart, Florida. Great place to live, and I'm so happy to have the opportunity to say hello. I don't have a lot of detail on these projects or on the plan that's now in existence, but I thought I would speak my mind really from my heart. I support the Atlantic Fields project for a couple of reasons, based on what I know. Improved environmental focus and economic development, including tax benefits. I invite you all, and I'm sure you've done your homework, so forgive me, but I invite you all one more time to thoroughly review the current plan juxtaposed against a prepared new plan, to identify significant advantages of the Atlantic Fields plan for the greater good of Martin County. There's no plan that's perfect, but my attitude is growth is upon us. And to be smart, planners look to growth with a view towards what is the right thing to do for the community, not the rich and famous, and not the poor slugs that are trying to make it day to day, but the greater good of the community. I thank you all for your time. God bless you, and God bless America. Hoorah.
Mr. Smith? Jimmy Smith?
There he is. I don't see any ribs.
How are you?
I don't see any
Good
barbecue.
morning. Good morning. Good morning, all of you all. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share with my opinion on the behalf. I'm Jimmy Smith, President of Martin County Branch NAACP. I'm here on the support of that project for the benefit of the communities. I look at the second chance of job opportunity that they offer. Our workforce is in bad shape here in Martin County and around the world. So when people get an opportunity for second chance, what I mean that second chance, a lot of people have been impacted on that from past history, that people want jobs. And the ones that really want a job can't get a job because that box sits there saying, have you been a convicted felon? And not only that, working with these companies, they're having an opportunity that where there will be benefit for all the communities, the local communities, Banner Lake area, Patway Avenue, in the city of Stuart, all around that, all these nonprofit organizations that they offer so much that they can give back. Also look at the revenue that it brings into the county, over $200 million. You know, you're talking about that can be something that can be set aside for low-income housing. We have a problem with housing. I know that, per se, most people probably don't agree with the housing. We got a lot of housing that comes into Martin County. We got gated communities all over, just being developed all over. That just isolate the community. I've been here since 1962. My mother...
It was a good year.
Huh?
It was a good year.
Good year, that's right. So my mother have helped raise George and Jed Bush off Jupiter Island over those years. Looking at and worked for Henry H. Flowers, Secretary of Treasury, I look at the dirt roads and how the Jenkins family have helped create jobs and stuff and opportunity. We need more of that. We need that solid foundation so people can have an opportunity to take care of their families. And just all people want is a decent place to live that they can be able to afford. And you got college kids don't want to come back to Martin County. I got my kids, I can't get them to come home for Thanksgiving. So I want to be able to get that back here to Martin County. You know, so we all need that. We all have children that we wanted them to be able to survive here in Martin County. This is a great place to live. And I believe today that you all will make a decision to benefit all people. You know, so we all have to work together, live together, and love each other. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to give me this chance to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Arthur Kitchen, followed by Joseph Cooper. Mr. Kitchen, are you here?
Here, he's coming now.
Okay. Mr. Kitchen, good morning.
Morning. My name is Arthur Kitchen. As Jim stated, I came here in 1970, went to Martin County High School, and I've seen the growth in Martin County, and I know living in Hope Sound on Fern Street, we had, like I said, the Jenkins, the Ruse, and so forth to help us maintain our families and so forth. I represent the Kitchen Foundation, which we is an after-school program to help the kids in the community. But we need something that this opportunity now to help with Martin County, and I hope our commissioners will favor this project that's going forward, because we also need affordable homes. We have opportunity to do that now right here in Hope Sound on Petway Street with Habitat. We are putting 18 homes in there, and we think this organization here would help spearhead affordable homes here in Martin County and help with the youth programs in this area, because it's much needed. And I think I'll vote yes on this project. Thank you.
Joseph Cooper. Morning, Mr. Cooper.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm coming. Joseph Cooper, lifetime resident, born and raised here. My family's here. My dad served in the military. He's still living at 91. I'm coming on behalf of the Discovery Project to say that it's definitely important. I grew up here, and my business was down south, and I moved it back here because there's opportunities like this to impact the community. Because one of the things that I do from a general contract perspective is I identify contractors and folks that's outside of the fringe of getting opportunities to work on construction projects. So I impact my community economically that way when I'm getting people that's underserved in these types of projects. And this is going to be benefiting them because they'll be able to feed their kids. I think it's important. You know, I grew up in an era where, it was all about slow growth, controlled growth, and I think we've done a great job about it. This project will not impact that message, I don't believe, in a way that's negative. I think we are growing up here, it was always said we don't want to become Fort Lauderdale. I think we've done a great job. We're not going to become Fort Lauderdale at this point. I think this project is very impactful in a place where it's massive from a standpoint of the acreage, but we know that there's not going to be a lot of consumption of that acreage. And when this amendment is brought forth, and if it's positively received by you, the commissioners, I think when you look at the total overall impact, it's not as, I know folks are going to say the boogeyman's coming, the boogeyman's not coming. It's never going to come to Martin County. We still have a lot of vast areas that's protected. This project will be powerful because it will create some short-term jobs, but also permanent jobs that people can benefit from. Thank you. So I hope that we support for this project. Thank you.
Rick Boshin. Rick, were you still here? Mr. Boshin? There you are. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. The president of the Martin County Realtors Association is here, I was hopeful I would speak after our president. I've been a realtor for 22 years in this county. And my background before that was marketing and sales. And what I'm concerned about in terms of this possible consideration is the negative marketing effect in terms of our county. By that I mean, people come to this county because they like the controlled and subtle and slow growth. I saw a sign outside regarding, let's not make Martin County or Stewart like Miami. Again, I'm deeply concerned of any significant change in policy in terms of the future marketability of our great county. I thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward, I'm sure you do too, to Andy Spears speaking on behalf directly for the Realtors Association. Thank you.
Sir. Megan Shirley? Shirey? Megan?
She's out there. Here she comes.
And following Megan will be Crystal Sims. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Megan Shirey, and I am here today to speak in favor of the Rural Lifestyle Amendment and the Discovery Project. As an employee and a supporter for the nonprofit community, this brings in residents that are committed to serving Martin County's local charities and nonprofits through its very generous Discovery Foundation. Discovery representatives have already visited multiple local charities in this area and nonprofits to see how they can help once they're integrated into our community. Bringing additional philanthropic individuals into our community will further bolster our ability to address those in need. Again, I am Megan Shirey, and I implore you to vote for this positive change.
Thank you. Crystal Sims? Ms. Sims? Darlene Van Riper? Then did Jeff Whitman come back? I thought I saw Jeff in the back. Yep. Jeff, you'll be following Ms. Van Riper. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thanks for pronouncing my name correctly. I appreciate it.
I can do it again if you want.
So, that's okay. So, I'm here on behalf of Martin County Taxpayers Association, and I just want to let you know that we are in favor of this, especially after we have reviewed the revised version of it. So, and then I'll just take a personal note. I live in Hobe Sound. I have since 1996. Honestly, I see this as a protection of Hobe Sound, and Martin County is going to experience change. There's nothing more constant than change, nothing more inevitable than change. So as leaders, and I don't mean to tell you what to do as leaders, I think you all do a fine job, and none of you and none of us in this room wants to see bad change, but we are going to be faced with change. So it is up to you to consider all 154,000 residents, not just the people in this room, but all residents, and consider that this is a change that it's time for this county to accept. Okay? And so with that, I will just ask you, please vote yes on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Riper. Okay, we're getting down to the bottom of the public speaker forms. If I haven't called out your name yet, I'm down to just a handful left. Just raise your hand and come on up and let us know. Mr. Whitman, you're up next.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Whitman, Hope Sound. I know all of you on the dais have integrity, and that is not what I'm worried about. I worry about the commissioners who will come after you and may not have your honor and integrity. Billions of dollars are at stake, and I fear they may favor developers over their constituents. The mayor of Stewart just got the boot. Good riddance. It appears that he didn't listen to the voters. Density and quality of life. Please go down as the commissioners who saved Hope Sound and Martin County. In conclusion, Martin County wouldn't be what it is today without Maggie Herchala. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll ask, is Bob Zacchio out in the lobby, or did he come back? Huh? Oh, he won't be back. Okay, got it. Thank you. Bob Gordon? Mr. Gordon, are you here?
I don't know about Bob Gordon. I'm Barry Server.
Okay, Barry. But Mr. Gordon's going to come up first.
He's right behind you.
Oh, go ahead.
He was going to say you're pronouncing his name wrong.
My name is Bob Gordon. I just recently moved from the high rent district of Jupiter Island to a more affordable Sugar Sands in Hope Sound. Really a nice little community. I've been an environmentalist for a long time. I belong to Audubon, to Thousand Friends, et cetera, Sierra Club. I was the treasurer of Audubon for a long time. When I found out about the proposal, I was very concerned how that would affect our growth and our character in the county. And so I've gone to 3 of the workshop meetings, presentations, asked a lot of questions. I realized that we have to grow to some degree, and I looked at the Pineland Prairie, which was, I think, a very good, smart growth decision made by you, as opposed to Harmony, which is the opposite side. Okay, during this period, it's been quite a while, I guess 2 years, the compromises have been made, and the approval, as I see it, is, if it would be done, is strictly limited, has very high standards. I do believe that we will have a very positive cash flow, which hopefully there would be monies involved with this to bring to fruition the Loxalucy endeavor. Another thing is I particularly like is the promise of using solar voltaic panels to charge the golf carts. That's not much, but I have a 5 kilowatt, or had a 5 kilowatt system on Jupiter Island, got a 26% tax credit, and so in the new place, I'm going to a 6.5 kilowatts. And so I hope, just in general, I guess I'm on a soapbox, that people will look into this because it's very green, carbon footprint is minimized. It's working very well. So I guess in summary, I think you should approve. Thank you.
Very much, sir. Okay, here's where it gets a little challenging. Sir, please come up, but when you do, just take a pause for a second. So what I'm trying to do here, we have a lot of forms that have speak at public comment period, but you also have listed the public hearing and the public hearing number. So it's hard to decipher whether you want to speak at the public hearing or do you want to speak at public comment. So what we'll do is we'll just have this gentleman, because he's up there, he'll go next. I'll try to find his card. And then those that want to speak now at public, please just kind of raise your hand and come on up and address who you are. And I'll try to pick them out of the pile and decipher which was which, okay? Does that seem fair? Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, so I know the last time I was here, I ran a little over because when I heard the bell, I actually thought it was a microwave, so I just kept going. But anyway, I'm actually here to talk against the rural lifestyle, which always gives me a kick. I'm not trying to tell you what your job is, but your job is to kind of guide the growth of Martin County. And the way I look at it, Martin County is definitely at a crossroads, especially thanks to this situation. But I'm a kind of a guy, I mean, you've got a lot of really bright people here saying a lot of factual great things. And, but I'm the kind of guy who's very pragmatic. So I say, well, how is that going to affect me? Because if it affects me, it's going to affect a lot of people the same way. So while a lot of people see money, I'll tell you what I see is overcrowded schools, which T.C. Palm had a thing about overcrowding schools, 17,000 more students by 2025. You do something like this, you'll be squeezing kids into classrooms. Where are you going to get the buses? Where are you going to get the drivers? How about nurse shortages? How about waiting times at a doctor's office? These aren't very glamorous things to rail about, but the fact is, that's a fact. It's hard enough now getting a doctor's appointment. Not that I need a doctor, it's okay, all right? But that's the situation here. And then what? Then you got the police department shortages, fire. Then you're gonna have four-story buildings going up to more-story buildings. We are at a crossroads here. And it is your job to leave a positive legacy. Leave a legacy that's positive, not a legacy of shame.
Thank you, sir. Crystal Sims, are you here? Crystal? Okay. Did you put in a card? I didn't.
Sir?
And did you have public or on the item?
I'm not sure. Somebody marked it for me.
Okay.
They were handed them. Yes, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Tom Pine. I've been a resident of Martin County for nearly 50 years. Once again, the Martin County taxpayers are being fleeced for yet another mooring field, this time in Port Solano area. Why? Why is the taxpayers' responsibility to pay for yet another mooring field? The mooring field in Jensen Beach area cost over $2 million, with $1.2 million coming directly from Martin County taxpayers. If the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, wants mooring fields, it's time for them to step up to the plate and pay for them. This is a clear picture how our local government is responsible for the growing problem of homelessness and food insecurity in Martin County. The last time the rural lifestyle comp plan change was supposed to be discussed, it was canceled at the last minute. And I'll quote, "There was not enough time to notify the public." But the quasi-government agency, the Martin County Chamber of Commerce, was informed, so they didn't have to waste their time showing up for a non-event. Out of the 3 scheduled meetings, 1 was canceled. It was the only meeting that the Chamber of Commerce didn't have their people at to speak. Something's fishy here, and it's not good. I feel bad saying this, but I believe the change to our comp plan to approve the rural lifestyle is a done deal. The only thing that is lacking is the final vote, because in Martin County, taxpayers are always second behind the Martin County Chamber of Commerce. The quasi-government agency, the Martin Chamber of Commerce, gets what they want from the county, our local commissioners. The proposed illegal expansion of runway 1230 at the Stewart Airport, they got it. They wanted it. They wanted the mooring field in Jensen Beach area. They got it. They wanted sidewalks in downtown Jensen Beach for the local businesses, and they got it. The business area don't even pay taxes on the newfound property. They wanted office space in the community center in Palm City. They got it. They wanted office space in the community center in downtown Jensen Beach. They got the whole building there. The Chamber of Commerce always gets what they want, and the county commissioners that to support them count on them for their strong support in every election cycle. It pays well to support special interest in the county where voter turnout for county commission races is often 30% or less. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pine. Katie Burgess. Burgess, are you here?
Bourgeois. It's bourgeois.
Bourgeois, right? Sorry.
Got it right the second time. Katie Bourgeois, lifetime resident of Palm City, in support of the rural lifestyle amendment, which will enable Atlantic Fields, a discovery project that any community would be overjoyed to welcome. It will create 11,000 jobs, generate $20 million a year in tax revenue, and more than $1 billion in economic impact for our area, for only 317 homes. What a deal. Please support it. Katie Bourgeois.
Thank you, Katie. Okay, who didn't I call that would like to come up? Whoa, there we go. Look at all the hands. Okay, why don't we start over here on my right? Dottie Lancey, and Dottie, I believe that you did have for the public hearing, but please, by all means.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Dottie Lancey from Hutchinson Island, and please pardon my appearance, but I'm undergoing another tedious process recommended by my dermatologist. So I did not want to come here today, but I felt that it was important for me to speak out against the Rural Lifestyle Amendment. Please understand, and I'm sure you do when you think about it, that most people here in Martin County are not opposed to controlled growth. We're not. Just rampant growth. The direction of the county government take should be garnered from the people living here, controlled by our voters and not by the developers, and that is you people here. Such is the case here today. I do oppose the commission allowing this change in our comp plan that is being considered. It does not meet the best interest of the residents and taxpayers here who elected you to serve our interests. Many people and organizations who take the time to care about our homes here and how much we want to see its future go down the right path have come to the same conclusion. I respect their opinions and concur with that conclusion. The guardians of Martin County have presented to you a compromise. Nobody's mentioned it yet, but I'm sure that you'll hear it, that I think can solve the situation here today. If the developer who is wanting all these exceptions to our comp plan is willing to concede these items listed by the guardians, I think many of us residents will be agreeable to that solution now. But I think it's time for the commission to consider creating a panel of representative of the leaders in our community and the general public to investigate what amendments need to be made to our comp plan and prepare realistically for the next proposal that is definitely coming. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yes, Nancy.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay. Yes, sir. We'll just kind of go across the room and back and forth, okay? Yes, please. And if you give us your name, please.
Yeah, my name is Ray Dunzel, just like Washington. Yes, I know, I get that all the time. I am asking you to vote no on the plan. It's too much for too little amount of people. It doesn't do anything for the county. The costs for roads, for infrastructure, I brought this up on other times up here, will be borne by Martin County and not the developers or the people buying the homes. I would consider possibly having this go through if they pay the millions of dollars that's going to be necessary for the roads, for the sewer systems, for the water, for the police department, for emergency, everything that has to go into that. Not the county itself, not the citizens doing it. As an alternative to pushing through what the developer wants to do is use that tract of land, buy it back from them, and put it in affordable housing. Still have builders come in and build what we need as a county, as a city for affordable housing. And again, once again, I'm asking not to turn Martin County into Palm Beach, into Broward. But I would use that tract of land for affordable housing, and I think it would be a nice compromise and everybody would be happy. Thank you very much.
Richard, you want to go?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. My name is Richard Grosso. Friends of the Everglades asked me to take a look at these proposed amendments. We oppose them. I've been doing land use law for 30 years in Florida. You have to take a sober look at these things. They're about language, binding legal standards. They're not about, hype and marketing and rhetoric. On the future land use map change, your own staff report has said you've got specific criteria about when you would convert farmland, rural land, into urban use. And your staff report makes clear that they don't meet them. It's not a logical extension of past changes. There haven't been past changes that have changed the character of this area. The current land use is still appropriate, and there's no public service need that this is filling. It doesn't meet the criteria for a future land use map change. That's clear from the staff report. And then on the larger let's make a brand new land use designation idea here. You would be doing nothing but codifying urban sprawl. You don't need a new land use designation to say yes to any really smart rural proposal that comes before you. On the other side of the coin, adopting this language would not require that any conversion of farm or rural land meet these standards. That's not what you'd be doing here. You'd simply be inviting and encouraging more. You'd simply be creating yet another option to urbanize or suburbanize rural lands. And the language, the fine print matters. It's about what the language requires, what it doesn't require, what it allows, what it says and what it doesn't. You look at the density. They're looking at least twice the density, these accessory units for each real unit. So you double the density right there, 54 six-bedroom golf cottages on top of that. So the density is not what the base density has been talked about here. The public benefits that are touted, self-supporting, self-contained, rural, promoting sustainability, promoting stewardship, an emphasis on those things. I haven't seen a proposed land use change, and I practice around the state, mostly in South Florida. I haven't seen a land use change in 20 years that wasn't all of those things. Every single application, it's boilerplate. It's standard language. Our project is stewardship. It's sustainability. It's internal capture. We will emphasize all these things. Every project is that. Every single project is that. The language in the proposed land use designation has nothing objective, nothing that can be enforced whatsoever. Every application that would come to you would be boilerplate. We do all those things. Where it talks about exceeding standards, it doesn't say by how much. The standards that it says we would emphasize exceeding are themselves narrative, to be determined, not objectively verifiable standards. So it sets a low bar, not a high bar, for future suburbanization of your rural lands. Thank you very much.
Samples next.
Good morning, Chairman and County Commissioners. Eve Samples, Executive Director at Friends of the Everglades. We were founded in 1969 by Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and we're located in Martin County today. We were honored to work with Richard Grosso on this application to take a really deep dive into what's being discussed here. And Richard is arguably the most respected environmental land use attorney in the state, so I hope you received his letter and digested it. So Friends of the Everglades has a number of supporters in Martin County, and more than 200 of them sent emails to you asking you to reject this comprehensive plan change. When this issue came before you in April, a majority of you agreed that it was not fit for approval. At the time, the new land use would have opened thousands of acres, tens of thousands of acres of rural Martin County to increase density and intensity. So here we are 5 months later, and the proposal has been shrunken down. The eligible lands are about 12,000 acres now. So that's more than 18 square miles of rural Martin County. 18 square miles is about twice the size of the city of Stuart. So while this proposal is reduced in size, it remains a major change to the Martin County Comp Plan that for decades has protected our community from uncontrolled growth. If approved, this proposal would pose serious long-term threats to our community that go well beyond the Discovery Land Company Becker Holding proposal. This is not about Discovery. The new rural lifestyle land use would undermine the very philosophy that Martin County's comprehensive plan is based on, a philosophy that has made this community different, more environmentally protective than our communities to the north and south. That philosophy boils down to this: development that receives urban services, such as water and sewer, should occur within the urban services district until the district approaches its capacity for additional development. Then and only then should the district be expanded. We have not reached that capacity inside the urban services district in Martin County. So where is the justification for this major amendment to Martin County's comprehensive plan that would bring urban services outside the USD? What's the demonstrated need? It's clear that the owners of these lands stand to make a significant profit by changing their land use to allow denser development, but that does not mean you're obligated to grant their request. Landowners have no guaranteed right under state law to intensify their land use, particularly not when such changes undermine the county's approved development rules. Martin County has avoided the fate of South Florida because of its comprehensive plan, which prioritizes the environment and quality of life by maintaining responsible limits on development. You've heard today from us, Friends of the Everglades. You heard from 1,000 Friends of Florida. And Guardians of Martin County is not here today, but I serve as an advisor to their board, and I was asked by Peter Conzi, their president, to convey their current position. He sent to me via text this morning, "We continue to oppose any plan that could jeopardize the integrity of our comp plan's agricultural zone for the sake of approving a very specific series of investments until a full review of our plan."
Thank you very much. Who's next? Anybody on the left here want to go up next? I'm sorry. Nicole, hang on 1 second, please. Ma'am, you want to come up? Nicole, we're going to go back and forth across the... So if you want to stay up front, Nicole, but we're trying to do this in some kind of order, okay?
Commissioners.
And you are, sir?
My name is Edward Tedman, a member of the Sierra Club. I think the first thing we need to do is put up a sign at the Florida-Georgia border that says, "You can't move here till somebody dies." I am not in favor of this plan, and for all of the reasons that you've heard by the residents of this county and others, and I think it defies good judgment, and I think that that you ought to consider not approving it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, Warner, did you want to speak? Okay, I'm just trying to go row by row, so if you wanted to speak.
Okay.
Okay.
I have-
Need to get you out into the aisle so that we can keep moving.
I have 3 cards that you can
Yes, ma'am.
put aside. My name is Linda Smith. I actually do live in Jupiter, Florida. However, I own property in Coral Garden, Stuart, Martin County for years. Sold the end of June, so the last time I spoke to you, I was a landowner here, and we'll be looking for property in the urban-suburban tier at the end of this year. Please vote against PH3, PH4, PHQJ-1, and now I will tell you why. For one reason, driving up here this morning, we witnessed bumper-to-bumper traffic on the southbound lane of I-95. All these developments will create more gridlock. When I moved to Jupiter, I was living on a dirt road between alternate A1A and Military Trail. I-95 didn't even go through. A lot of people in this room don't even realize it didn't go through. I remember when Palm Beach County was a nice place to live. Development outside the urban-suburban tier, taxes do not cover the expenses accrued by government. There are a lot of studies that will back that up. Maybe their tax rate's going to be twice or 3 times as much as everybody else. I don't know what you guys are doing with the numbers, but police and fire are very expensive, schools are expensive, and a lot of these people probably won't even have kids. But their maids will have kids, their gardeners will have kids, they'll have a lot of kids. The adage, if you build it, they will come, is true. And I'm not trying to necessarily pull up the drawbridge at the state line, but I am advocating for development in the urban-suburban tier as the comprehensive plan requires. I am also a member of Sierra Club, 1,000 Friends of Florida, Audubon, Nature Conservancy, Ocean Conservancy, I don't know. For the record, housing is the last crop we ever get to harvest from agricultural land, and we can't eat a house. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am? Thank you very much. Your name?
Hi, I'm Gail Ladd. I live in Jupiter, but I'm part of Sierra Club, which is part of Martin County, St. Lucie County, Palm Beach County, and I'm very concerned about this development. I noticed that you have a banner behind you, and it says that Martin County is a Florida green county. Congratulations, that's a wonderful thing, but that means you're concerned about keeping things green. Golf courses don't count as green. Mr. Smart asked the same question I was going to ask. Who stands to benefit from this land use amendment for rural lifestyles? And the water, everybody needs water. We are so concerned now about water. What is going to happen with all the water that's going to be used, and how is it going to be used? And is it going to still be safe? Jackie started today's public comments. She and others have expressed concerns that specific wording in these proposals do not ensure protections to keep Martin County green. Please vote no for the rural lifestyles and Atlantic PUD proposals. Thank you.
Next. Yep, sure. Come on up. Your name?
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Underwood. I've lived in Jensen Beach for 20 years. My background is biological science and environmental science. Once again, I find myself taking time off work to come and address this board regarding proposals before you that will change this county forever. I'm referring to rural lifestyles. I have lived in a variety of counties in Florida, including Broward, Palm Beach, and Duval, i.e. Jacksonville. I settled in Martin because it didn't look like those other places. And I'm not alone. Sprawl and poor planning are cancers on communities. Make no mistake, if you pass the rural lifestyles proposal, you are sealing the fate of our western lands. And you are setting precedent not only for Martin County, but for the Treasure Coast as well. This is the pressure moment. Our current comprehensive plan is a well-thought-out document that clearly states what is and what is not allowed by using concise and quantitative language. The current plan before you does not. The planner continues to use language that is ambiguous at best. Voting for ambiguity when it comes to growth in our western county is like offering a grab bag to developers. And trust me, others are already lining up. Like sharks in the water, they smell blood. So why would you allow developers to dictate our future growth? I think it's important for you to reflect on your inner character and on your campaign promises as I ask, whom does this serve? Rural Lifestyles and the developers of Atlantic Fields have not addressed ambiguity in their proposals. They have not addressed services like fire rescue and police in these areas. What about traffic? And especially important, what about water quantity and water quality? Your memories can't be that short. While I understand that population growth is a reality, leaving the planning to the very entities who are set to gain financially is dangerous and irresponsible. It's your job to ensure that we follow a well-developed, clear, and quantitative plan for future growth. Anything else is unacceptable. In closing, I still believe, somewhat naively I suppose, in the idealistic America. The one that starts right here in this room. Today, the future of our amazing home, Martin County, is in your hands. May strength and integrity find their way into your hearts today. Please vote no on Rural Lifestyles. Thank you.
Ma'am? Please.
Good day, Chairman Smith, members of the commission, and staff. My name is Kathy Petaruti, and I am a resident of Martin County. I respectfully request you vote no on your upcoming votes on CPA 21-09 and CPA 21-08. Within the past several weeks, a revised comprehensive growth management plan was submitted by Mr. Hurley and recently was made available to the public. Applying the rural lifestyle designation to 11,700 acres translates potentially into 2,340 homes or 4,680 homes if accessory dwellings are included, not to mention golf cottages and dormitories. Roughly speaking, that 11,700 acres are nearly twice the acreage of Stewart, with approximately half the number of homes. Additionally, the population would increase by 53% if using Stewart as the reference, and a presumed 2 people per household, which is what the recent census did, living in Stewart. What would an economic analysis look like for nearly 12,000 acres? How would police, fire, emergency services, and schools fit? The roads, miles and miles of roads will need to be built, and at what cost? Who will be accountable for water quality of the wetlands? What are the repercussions if water quality standards are not met? And by the way, what is a self-supporting first aid element? Is this an urgent care facility, a pharmacy, a closet with first aid equipment, or an AED hanging on the wall? Discovery promises sustainability and to be eco-friendly. I'm not exactly sure how septic systems fit into the green equation, nor do I realize that a van shuttle to and from the beach will be widely used by the uber-rich to decrease their carbon footprint. Will landscaping, such as trees, shrubs, and flowers, be 100% native, or at least Florida-friendly? Would you dare take the quantum leap and not plant turf grass on private lawns, but use native Florida bunch grasses or native ground covers instead? I am sure that you have gopher tortoises on your property. You could instead plant gopher apple as a native ground cover. Gopher tortoises love to eat the fruit and the leaves. And not only that, they act as little lawnmowers, and they eat the upper portion of the leaves, which ensures the plant will remain alive and always be robust. Will there be any attempt to get the homes LEED certified? Since these homes are somewhat pricey, why not go solar? The questions go on and on. Listed above are just a few examples of the very many concerns associated with the potentially new designation. Density, accountability, and the impact of rural lifestyles on agriculture are more intense topics.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. And I am Nick Mader. I'm with the River Kids, and I would first like to
thank Commissioner Hurd, Commissioner Campy, and Commissioner Smith for being part of River Kids all these years. And you guys have attended some of our events early on, and I really, really appreciate it. So I've been the head of River Kids along with a few other River moms for the past 11 years. And I'm going to speak on behalf of all the kids in this county. I'm sure they would feel the same way that I do because these River Kids have been part of our group for the past 11 years. Our mission is to speak out, get involved, and raise awareness because we believe that kids should have a voice in the future of our rivers. Maybe this isn't directly the river, but it is all connected. It is part of our waterways, the whole watershed. And I assure you that they stand with me on saving any precious land that could be taken away for the wealthy to vacation at our expense. Let's please keep Martin. It's why we all love it here and why we were drawn to it. Please think hard about leaving some beauty for our children. And if we start making footprints out west, it will become exactly what we don't want here. The River Kids stand up for our beautiful environment, clean water, and Maggie Hirchala's original plan for Martin County. Thank you.
No, don't give in to anybody else. You've done that about 6 people now. You gotta get out.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, staff. Same vote, different day, right? My name is Mary Starzinski. I'm speaking to you today to implore you to vote no on your upcoming votes on CPA 21-08, the Becker B14 tax, the CPA 21-09, the Becker 14 Florida future land use map, and the requested PUD rezoning approval for the Discovery Project. I agree with the Friends of the Everglades position in their letter to you, composed by Mr. Richard Grosso, which states, quote, both the individual Becker-Flum change and the proposed new land use designation would allow development that is out of character of the region and the lifestyle of the adjoining and neighboring property owners. Either proposed change, individually or collectively, would extend the urban service outside the current boundary and allow more intense developments to intrude westward into our county's rural lands. Either amendment, singularly or collectively, would continue to create upward pressure on farmland values by signaling to the market that conversions of agricultural land to more intense units will be treated favorably, ... The most fundamental change to the brand new rural lifestyle land use category is that creating a new land use category that can be used to support even more suburbanization of rural lands is bad policy. It changes the comprehensive plan to provide this new option. If you do that, the county should expect to see even more applications for such projects that claim to meet the terms of the new plan policies, ... The proposed amendments, individually and collectively, are inconsistent with the overarching goals, objective, policies, and intent of the county's comprehensive plan. Lastly, quote again, because of the inconsistencies with the comprehensive plan provisions cited above in the complete letter, which y'all have received, the application violates the law. Now, commissioners, please remember that we are both your constituents and your employers. As such, we expect and deserve you to be true to your campaign promises to respect and preserve the Martin County way of life and our celebrated comprehensive growth plan. Please vote accordingly. Thank you for your service. And as an aside, because we all do love you, please don't forget to get your COVID boosters and your flu shots so you don't get icky old COVID-19 or long COVID, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Why don't you come on up? We have these 3 coming. No, come on up. And why don't you, ma'am, in the black shirt, why don't you come up and sit in that seat? And just I'll give you a heads up. We will be breaking at noontime. I still have a pile, and I'm not sure who is public yet still and who is hearing. I think I have them separated. But one way or the other, we will break at noon, and we will come back and continue at any cost. If someone cannot come back after lunch, for public, please kind of get up front here and we'll try to get you in before noon, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Kristen Carper. You won't find my name up there because I didn't plan on speaking, but I chose
how's that
to.
work?
Well, I just felt like I
in front
should.
of people that have put in a card and have been waiting.
Well, that's totally fine if someone else would like to go before me. It's 3 minutes.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Martin County Commissioners. It is a preposterous suggestion that the environmental offset is the support of a for-profit tree farm owned by the family applying to develop the land. That means the developer gets credits to buy into preserving a tree farm owned by Becker, who is developing the land for the Atlantic Fields project, and that option is potentially available for other applicants if the rural lifestyle is approved. So one for-profit tree farm to offset the suggested environmental offset for any number of applicants could be used. These workshops that were held, I was there, were slimy sales pitches. It was very obvious that certain individuals were even there to boost morale on the pitch. These should have been held by commissioners informing the locals, not the developers, that stand to financially gain from this new plan. But wait, we already know some commissioners do stand to financially gain from the new plan via the developers as well. Conflict of interest. This is irresponsible growth. We're not saying we don't want growth. This is irresponsible. I have lived in Boulder, Colorado, where they also have a 4-story limit, and they're able to maintain that. And you think there's not a lot of money behind that? You think there's not a lot of tax benefits that they could do by changing that? They don't do that. I've lived in Southwest Virginia. I've lived in Northeast Tennessee. All gyms, beautiful, beautiful places. And they have seemed to be able to hold their line and hold their morale character, good morale character. So I've seen this before, but I've never seen it at this rate or this depth of corruption and deceit. I am fully aware that you all know the repercussions of this, but I just, again, want to give a special shout out and thank you to Sarah Hurd for carefully considering the impacts on our environment and like most others. Thank you for standing your ground for the people versus selling out to the developers. We see you and we appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Okay, ma'am?
I have a form, but I haven't turned it in, so I can wait. I can wait.
No.
I know how it works. I know so I can wait.
If you give it to the bailiff, that's great. Sir, did you have a form?
Ready.
Andy Spears.
Come on up.
Sure, because I gotta go. Good morning. I know many of you. I think you know me. I'm Andy Spears, the president of the Martin County Realtors of Treasure Coast. I've served on many philanthropy boards here in the county. I've served on the school board advisory, boundary committee. I've been deeply involved in this community for the 30-plus years I've lived here. Today I'm speaking on behalf of the Realtors Association. We don't take this issue lightly. What we sell is the quality of lifestyle in Martin County. It's the most important thing we sell. We're not in favor of becoming Palm Beach, Broward, St. Lucie, any of those other counties. But we have to look at things, what's the overall good for everyone? And interestingly, I'm glad I waited to speak. I listened to a lot of the local people who, from all socioeconomic levels, and the people who are mostly impacted seem to be in favor of it, which goes, we are in favor of it. Now I hear experts, people have lived here a few years, paid experts, paid consultants, say they're not in favor of it. It doesn't meet the legal guidelines. We know there's problems with our comprehensive plan already. There's challenges. The point is, we see this as a benefit to more residents of Martin County than detriment. The tax revenue it brings in, I heard people say, well, they're not going to pay taxes. Well, I get a tax bill, I pay it, right? At a worst case, it's going to bring in $20 million in additional tax revenue. Oh, I had notes and notes and notes. I'm trying to hit them all. I guess the main thing is I just listen to the people who are here. I mean, yeah, you got some people who have been here 15 years. Some people have been here 5 years. Some outside experts, they say no. What I heard is the people in the Hope Sound community and the Port Salerno community say, hey, we need those jobs. We need that economic thing, and the impact isn't really going to be that great. I mean, like if I was on the school board advisory boundary committee meeting, there's no kids coming into this development, a handful. It's not going to affect our schools. I love these meetings, as you guys know. I hate the political process. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was important. The benefit to Martin County far outweighs any detriment is the opinion that not myself, 1,000+ members of the Board of Realtors came to this conclusion, asked me to come here and implore you that we need this. And everybody said, well, realtors are going to make more commissions. The reality is, this deal, we probably won't see any commissions. These are usually inside sales. This isn't money. This isn't a windfall for us. This is preserving the quality of life that we sell in Martin County. We're proud that we don't have buildings more than 4 stories. We don't have the traffic of other places. We have great schools. We see this as a minimal impact. If we don't do something, the year is coming up next year. We're afraid the state might tell us, hey, kick that urban service boundary out further. Because you can look at an aerial map of Martin County and everybody says, well, do infill, do infill. The reality is there's not that many places to do infill. And to get this same tax revenue, we need 8,000, at a minimum, 8,000 new residences. Well, that's more than this project does. So we ask you to support it, and that's on behalf of the Martin County Realtors of the Treasure Coast. Thank you.
Mayfield? Kaya, after her, please. Okay.
Hi, you should have my form in there. I'm Jen Rainieri. I'm speaking on behalf of my husband Luis and myself. We own the Grove Cucina and Wine in Hope Sound, right on Bridge Road, where this would directly impact our community, our residents, our employees, and our everyone around us. We opened the Grove, we're the little restaurant that could, right? We opened about a year before the pandemic. So the fact that we're still open and still married is nothing short of miraculous. But as we did open with the name The Grove for an Italian restaurant, our reasoning was twofold behind that. Yes, it embodied what we had experienced living in Europe with olive groves and agriculture and vineyards all around us, but it also embodied something different in Europe that we wanted to and were implored by our friends to open the Grove and create. And that was deep roots in our community that could continue to serve and produce great fruit together. That we would be here to impact through the hospitality that we create. I previously served on the board of the Tourism Development Council of Martin County for a brief stint. I currently serve on the board of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association and the Martin County Spam Robotics, which affects every student in every high school and homeschool and private school across this whole county. I have a great pulse on the youth of our next generation. They work for us. We employ high schoolers through the Martin County culinary program, and my husband will be speaking next week at the Jensen Beach High hospitality program. You've heard people in our community say this will create and impact jobs, and I believe that. I think that, you know, I've heard a lot of negative about the project in saying we don't want to be the playground for the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Well, I can tell you, as a Wine Spectator award-winning restaurant 3 years in a row, we have catered to these folks, and they're wonderful, and they put their pants on one leg at a time like we all do. And I believe that their hearts to serve our community as they come in can be something that maybe is hidden in the background, and that we should be open. Part of the reason I love Martin County, and I grew up coming here 40 years ago. We've been residents nearly 2 decades, 12 of those in Hope Sound, and now we're in Palm City. And I've seen the impact that the beauty in this county does to it. That's why it attracts these folks that are coming that want to put this project together, but I also think that's why they want to preserve the beauty of this county. I really do believe that the roots that we can grow deeply as this new rural landscape is passed, that it can hold the beauty of our county while still creating that great economic impact that we do need. Our community can certainly benefit from economic growth. The people can certainly benefit from what this will bring.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners, for allowing me this time. My name is Kaya Mayfield. I'm a Martin County resident for 40 years. It's just seemed particularly odd and confusing that, to me, that from the get-go, such an expensive, elite, and at least for Martin County, major development is so intertwined with what many consider, myself included, significant comp plan changes that were created by the developer. I wholeheartedly think that if you deem the Atlantic Fields Discovery Project as worthwhile, then approve it by special exception. It seems like a great project. Then separately, the county could engage all forms of Martin County stakeholders in a process to look in depth at the comp plan, particularly as it applies to Western lands, and changes could be made as deemed necessary in a more organized and informed manner. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bob Zacchio, I see you in the room. You want to come up and speak now, or you want to come back to the hearing?
I'd like to come up.
Come on up.
Well, thank you all for, taking all these comments and questions. I think that certainly From my point of view, I'm really looking at this as the lens of a residence. I've been here for 46 years. Actually, Kaya and I were in elementary school together, wherever she went. So we've been around this town for a really long time, and we've seen a lot of really great things happen. I am in support of this move, and I'm also in support of the Discovery Land. There's a couple of reasons for it. One is I feel like they've been, and I use these words lightly because I feel like this applies directly to some of the nonprofit movements that we have out there, is that they've been more transparent than a lot of the other developers out there, right? So when we take a look at what's going on and what's going to happen out there, we look at it like we're going to see about 416 sustainable jobs by the time they're done with that development. 11,000 jobs that will be created that aren't going to be there long term. They'll be for the construction and for the different things that are going on. And when we take a look at that in the long term, we're talking about a pretty significant yearly investment back into the community, $500 million in annual salaries. We're looking at a lot of different things that go on there. Not to mention the opportunities for our agencies in the nonprofit worlds to be able to access a little bit different philanthropic giving as it relates to how we operate in our communities. I personally, as a resident here, I look at it as a little impact. I look at it as an opportunity for us to not see a position where we're going to see 4,000, 8,000 homes being built in a particular area, right? Because when I look at the transparency component of it, I go, well, we have other developers that can come in and they'll say, look, 4,000 homes, 8,000 homes, whatever it is they want to put in, but they're all going to be affordable housing, right? Bull honky, right? That's just not going to happen. We're looking at these houses going in there at $400,000 for a condo, right? And that's what I mean by the transparency component. You got this other organization coming in or developer coming in and saying, hey, look, we are who we are, right? They're putting it out there. This is who we are. And it fits what we're doing here. So when I take a look at those particular components of it, when I look at the pieces that we end up with, 8,000 homes or whatever could go there, the tax benefit is in a design that's going in this area really outweighs what we would see with a $4,000 or $8,000 home tax benefit. So for that, I am in support of this. I am a lover of everything Martin County, everything of our community, and I love this particular commission. I think this commission is wise. I think they make great decisions, and I think that you all are going to be in a position to really do something incredible, and I stand behind it. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Gretchen, you want to speak? Gretchen, you want to speak now or you want to wait after lunch?
Who else needs to go?
Okay, we'll take one more person. Somebody have to go now before lunch? Okay. Gretchen, why don't you, if you want, come up. Gretchen will be our last speaker before lunch.
Short and sweet.
And then we'll be back at around 1:30.
Good afternoon. My name is Gretchen Hirchala. I am the daughter-in-law of Maggie Hirchala. I've gotten involved in this discussion that we're all having today because I loved her very much. I thought the only way that I could help is to do things that Maggie used to tell me mattered. Show up, fill the room, talk to people. Maybe a citizen's petition might help. So I did that. I sent it to you guys in your emails. I just wanted everybody in the room and the applicant to know that I have 1,200 signatures here that basically are asking you to maintain the urban service boundary and do not make any changes to the comprehensive plan. You've heard from people who are much better at it than I am tell you we're not ready to expand the urban service boundary or play with it at all. That will come eventually. We don't have the data to support it. The comprehensive plan is law here. We're not in the business of changing it for every applicant that comes along. They need to prove a good reason why they deserve to be heard. And I don't feel like this project meets that bar. So here it is. You have copies of it. If anyone else would like copies, I'm happy to provide them. And thank you very much for all your hard work and all of your listening skills.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will break for lunch. We will be back at 1:30, and we will take up the rest of the public that we have, and then we will go into our agenda.